All right, what is going on, everybody? We are back for our second matchup of the night as we are heading down. We're down under Gallium. We're heading to the Provisional League. Gallium is back. Got an outfit change. You got a little brightness going on now in the room, and we're back for the first ever Provisional playoff match for season number 9.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of a wardrobe change for this one because this is such an important game in the Provisional League. Unironically, Provisional League has been my favorite league to watch in terms of play-in/playoffs because it's not a sweep. It's not like a 4-1, a 3-1, what have you. It is close games all down to the wire, and I expect a close one here, Rockerman.
Yeah, it should be. It should definitely be a good one. Going off here as we're heading to the Provisional League, and I'm excited. Why don't we take a quick look? Why don't we take a quick look at the play-in/playoff bracket here? We can kind of go through it a little bit. You guys seen the play-in tournament, how things have worked out. The Mangoes actually working their way through this play-in tournament there in the 5-6 spot there, winning that 5-6 matchup there, and gonna be taking on Uprising. And this is where things get a little weird, Gallium, with the crossing arrows. But Dissonance is gonna play the lowest remaining seed out of these 4 teams, and Gambits will play the highest remaining seed out of these 4 teams. So what do you make of this? What do you make of this bracket, and how do you think it's going to shake out?
Man, the play-ins were so exciting, as I mentioned earlier. I think that Brawlers and Wolfpack match was the best match of the play-ins by far, and Wolfpack ended up winning that one, and then they faced Agility and smoked them. Wolfpack are actually my sleeper team in the playoffs, and they have to face Sirens with a brand new logo. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out in the, I believe I'm not sure where you can check it out, but it's a cool logo. You'll see it on stream. But as for the rest of the playoffs, my favorite team to win it, in my unbiased opinion, is the Gambits on the right side of the semifinals bracket over there with Dissonance. And whichever team wins out of the quarterfinals and faces either the Gambits or the Dissonance are going to have a tall task. So even in our first match, Uprising versus Mangoes, you win this, you face the Gambits, and the Sirens and the Wolfpack, they face Dissonance. So it's just 2 heavy hitters right there immediately going into semifinals. And I mean, for both of these teams, it's a win or go home situation as always.
Yeah, it is. And well, Gallup, it's actually slightly different than what you said. So Dissonance, it all depends on both of these matchups to see who is going to play Dissonance and who's going to play Gambits. For example, if the Sirens win, they are going to play Gambits no matter what, because they would be the highest remaining seed out of those 4. So if Sirens win, they play Gambits, and the winner of this matchup would play Dissonance. But for example, if Wolfpack were to win, they would automatically play Dissonance because they're the lowest remaining seed out of those 4 teams, and the winner of Uprising Mangoes would play Gambit. So it's a little funky. It all depends really on that Sirens Wolfpack matchup. But that one is for tomorrow night. But for tonight, we got these guys, Uprising versus Mangoes. We got them in the lobby. We got them ready to go here, Gallium. They are racing and ready here. The channel points are being predicted here in the chat. It is split dead even 50-50 in the chat here, Gallium. I'm curious, who are you taking in this matchup?
I'm taking Mangoes on this one. I'm sorry, Rockerman. Don't mean to hurt your feelings, but Mango has something that Uprising doesn't, and that is NJ111. He is undoubtedly one of the better players in Provisional League, top 3 in almost every stat in Provisional League, and I expect a big game from him in this game number 1.
Yeah, definitely. He is a big player, and yeah, 2nd overall in player rating. That is a scary man to face off against, and he will definitely be the player to watch here on that Mango side. And on the other side, I'm going to be watching out for Sleeping Bean, an all-star this season. Definitely a big performer out there on Uprising early in the season. And actually, Gallium, he was on Uprising before he made the all-star team, and then he actually left right before the trade drop deadline, but then came back. So he's had a little bit of a redemption arc. He's back here for the postseason to see if he can help lead this team to a playoff victory.
Yeah, and that is such a great time to be back, and I'm sure his teammates love the fact that he's back. But early on in this game, this action has been pretty typical of the start of any game for these playoffs, I feel like, because in the playoffs, we've seen kind of a trend where teams kind of start off slow because they're on stream and, almost put it in his own net. Fenrir, a little dangerous there, but, what a almost passing play coming out for the Mangoes. But, they're starting off a little slow, but as this game heats up, I expect a lot of goals coming in short time across from each other.
Yeah, definitely so. The mistakes can happen quickly, and the goals can be scored quickly. As this one, oh, a shot on net, but a great save by Fenrir there, able to take that one off to the corner. And yeah, we didn't really get to mention too much about the rest of the players on the roster. You see on the Uprising side, you got Fenrir, Sleeping Bean, and Starrazor. Starrazor, a player in the Provisional League last season, and trying to come back this season. And then on the other side, oh, there's a shot off the post there. Before I can even talk with the other team, a close opportunity for Uprising. But you mentioned NJ111, a huge player on the Goats last season. Just a team name change. He actually stayed on the same team here. But with the team name change to Mangoes, he's sticking around. And then Nerd Strafe and On Fire?
I believe so.
On Fire? I don't know.
On Fire.
On Fire. On Fire there. Also rounding out that roster. So we got some well-known names and some new names, which is always good to see in the Provisional League. Gallium. It's all about where you start out here, and this could be a huge opportunity for a lot of these guys to make their name, for the first time.
I think pronouncing these names is the hardest part of casting, and in the Provisional and the Novice Leagues, they do not make it easy for us, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Because my personal favorite name in the Novice League is Brad McStackcrap, and he actually played the other day. And now we have On Fire. So I mean, really great players, regardless of how their name looks or sounds. On Fire is actually putting up one heck of a performance. I've noticed him actually a lot more than NJ on the pitch, just his speed so far, and he's looking to put up a lot of points here. And I honestly am really excited to see where this match goes.
Yeah, definitely so. And so far, what we're seeing is a 0-0 ball game here. Both these teams taking some opportunities, but nothing to quite finding the back of the net yet. As this ball now heading in the Uprising zone, a demo comes through, can open up a little bit of space. Starrazor gonna try to take this one, gonna pinch it up against the wall. Fenrir gonna dive in, a little bit of a double commit there from Uprising, but Fenrir gonna turn back on it, try to send it up in the midfield. But NJ now gonna send this one down. A minute and a half remaining, still tied at 0-0 here as this ball popped up. Going towards the net, but Fenrir with a huge save on the goal line. A huge opportunity, Gallium, but denied away.
Yeah, denied away, and what great defense from Uprising early on in this series. And, I think defending is such a crucial part of just some of these lower leagues and making the least amount of mistakes. And so far, it looks like both these teams are kind of limiting themselves to only a few.
Yeah, definitely so. And I'm a little bit surprised with Uprising. They had not played in nearly 2 weeks, Gallium, just because they weren't in the play-in tournament. But Mangoes, they did get their experience taking down Agility 3-1. So I expect them to come out a little bit cold here as Uprising, but they've played some good defense and put on some good opportunities. This one hanging around towards the net, but not quite going to find it there. As now it's still in the Mango zone, going a little bit towards the middle. Sleeping Bean going to dive in on that one, but not quite going to make contact. As now we're down to the final 30 seconds in game number 1. Both these teams looking for their first goal of the playoffs. As this ball popped up, here comes Sleeping Bean, but denied away. On Fire going to send that one into the corner. Now this one popped up. Will we see a goal here? Or will we see our first overtime of this series? NJ, let's see if we can end it in regulation. This ball popped up high. Out in the midfield, On Fire. Gonna get a touch, but only towards his own corner as the seconds are ticking away. This ball up in the midfield, Uprising looking out for the pass, trying to find it down, but NJ gonna push it out. And if we've got overtime, a 0-0 overtime here, Gallium, to start game 1.
Yeah, that's such a big step in both of these teams for success. I mean, if you can push a game to overtime with a 0-0 scoreline, that just shows how careful and cautious they are, and that is such a good skill to have, especially in the Provisional League. So this goal is not going to come for a while if both these teams are playing like this, Reckerman.
Yeah, both these teams understand it. You gotta come up big here with this first goal and start your playoffs off on the right foot here with a win. Both these teams have had some experience against each other. As this one shot towards them, but Sleeping Bean, great defense on the back end there. As this one gonna be sent down, Sleeping Bean thought about getting on that light little touch there, but this one gonna be popped up. NJ, he's gonna get it by 1. No one quite staying with it here. As here comes On Fire trying to get a touch. NJ gonna dive in. 50 comes through. NJ looking to stay with it, but Bean gonna get a 50. Fenrir trying to put this one down towards net, but it's gonna be sent out again. As now we're a minute deep into this overtime. 6 minutes scoreless here. for both these two teams, trying to make something happen. This ball dangerous out of the midfield, going to be shot off the backboard. Could be an opportunity, but Mango's not quite ready to commit here. And yeah, Gallium, like you mentioned there, both these teams being very, very cautious, not willing to make that mistake.
Yeah, and you know, it's just really showing in this overtime as well as much of the regulation. Not much happening, but this could be a goal here. It almost slipped in the back of the net, and I feel like Stream Nerves coming to effect here, and it's going to come into effect mostly in the shooting department, as you've seen. I mean, both teams have taken actually a considerable amount of shots. Mango's more than Uprising. Mango's, they do have 6 shots to Uprising's 3. So if anybody's going to score stat-wise, I'm picking Mango's.
Yeah, they've definitely got some good pressure, but both these teams really have had some very solid opportunities. But this one out of the midfield could be dangerous. NJ gonna try to come in looking for the shot, but a huge save, and Uprising again, their defense standing tall on the back end is on fire. Can take this one. What can he do? Can try to flick it by, but Starrazor gonna pop it up. Could be dangerous. Double commit from Uprising. Could lead to something here for the Mangoes. A shot opportunity for Nerdstrafe, but he's only gonna throw it off the backboard. Starrazor gonna send it down. Another opportunity here. Starrazor gonna try to get back to it. Set it up in the midfield. Shot attempt, and it's over. Fenrir puts it in to win game 1.
What a big goal, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Fenrir. A beautiful pass from Starrazor, and man, Uprising. Didn't really expect them to take this game 1, but hey, they played really great. They kept in there with the Mangoes, and both these teams had equal chances to win, and Uprising just took advantage of theirs.
Yeah, and I mean, look at that. Look at that shot save department there, Gallium. Both these teams, the Mangoes put in a lot of shots, but Uprising defending 8 shots with 7 saves there. So really, Gallium, the defense just kind of held strong, and they led to that counterattack at the very end that we saw.
Yeah, that is one of the key components that led to Uprising's success. Also, I feel like Uprising just played much better defensively. I mean, you just see the save statistics. 7 saves to Mango's 1 save. Mango's were putting up a lot of pressure, but Uprising's defense was just much better. So in order for Mango's to get back into this series, they're going to have to put on some much better chances.
Yeah, definitely so. And as we head into this one, we're going to have to see if they can crack that Uprising defense. I feel like we saw a lot of saves from Sleeping Bean there, and we're going to have to see if Uprising can repeat that same performance in this game number 2, or if the Mangoes will finally break through and find their first goal here, as they're trying to right now. This ball high off the backboard, got to make a save, but that one is going to be cleared out, and this ball now popped up in the midfield. Here comes Fenrir, sending it up high. Nerdstrafe gonna send down. Here comes Sleeping Bean waiting, and he fires a shot on net, and Uprising strikes first in game 2.
Sleeping Bean finally awake here, and I was waiting for his name to be called, and he's going to take an amazing shot just right off of the pass. And Uprising, they've come into this series, and they've looked much better than the Mangoes so far.
Yeah, they have looked pretty solid, and they took down the Mangoes at the very end of the regular season here, 3-1. So these guys have some experiences against each other very recently, and both these teams understand the importance of this one. And Uprising trying to keep things going, but NJ looking for the shot, the follow-up gonna come through.
Oh my gosh!
Another huge save, and Uprising, this defense is unreal right now, as that one I thought for sure Gallium was gonna find the back of the net.
That is actually ridiculous defending, high-level defending here in the Provisional League, and Uprising, they do it the best. Out of every Provisional team that I've watched, because I've watched all of the games, they looked they don't look panicked at all, and I think that is such a key. Rocket League is 80% a mental game, and their mentals are so good, especially for how low of MMR they are.
Yeah, they may be the lowest MMR in Nemesis here, but they are putting on a show in the defensive clinic, and maybe even doing better than some other higher league teams may have on the defensive end, as their rotations have been locked down in that department thus far, and they've been able to knock in 2 goals as a result here. But a touch not going to come through this time. This could be dangerous, but Mango's not quite ready. The demo from Sleeping Bean opened up some space for his team to clear that one out, as now they're back on the attack out in the midfield here. 50 coming through, as that one not quite able to be touched there by Sta, as this one gonna be blocked out into the midfield. Another touch from Fenrir, setting it in the corner. Fenrir trying to take this one up. It's off the backboard. It's floating there, but the Mangoes just able to get that one away here. And Gallium, these two teams are loving their low-scoring affairs. It seems like there's just a limited amount of opportunities on both sides, and whenever there is one, it seems like it's being shut down.
Yeah, there's just so many opportunities, and as you said, I think really the shots have been pretty fairly even. Mango's still having more shots than Uprising, but again, it's just that defensive difference that's keeping them alive. And I think for anybody who's watching this in Provisional League or any other league, and you want to improve on your defense, I think the best way to do it is improve your mental overall. Just take some notes actually from this Uprising team. They are looking phenomenal on the defensive side.
And he brought up a good point earlier about not being panicked, and I think you're exactly right. Uprising looks so calm on the defensive end, avoiding the double commits as much as possible, and that's why their defense has been so strong, in my opinion, as now they're trying to look for some offense here, but that one could be blocked away, as we're now 2 minutes remaining here in game number 2. Trying to hold on is Uprising. Mango's looking to strike back. This one sent high off the backboard. Sleeping Bean gonna make a touch. It's only down in the midfield though. Pista gonna send it away to the side for the moment. Is this one popping back up Fenrir? Gonna try to get it out on fire. Gonna get a touch, but only right back to Fenrir, as they're gonna be able to clear it out and try to send this pressure back the other way. This ball up high. Sleeping Bean trying to get it out. Starrazor waiting in the midfield. What can Sta do? Looking for 50, but not quite gonna find it. And that one, another opportunity here, Gallium, is now we're down to minute 30, and Mango's really got to try to get something going here. It feels like, they haven't had too many opportunities, but, they really got to get it going now.
Yes, they do, and I think it all starts with getting your midfield battles won. They're just not winning it in the midfield. Even this example, Fenrir is just taking it down into the Mango zone and setting up opportunities for his team, but it's not even the Uprising opportunities that are being successful. It's just stopping the Mangoes in the midfield. I mean, even when the Mangoes get into the Uprising zone, they just can't do anything with it. So I think really the key here is Uprising just stopping Mango's attacks, and I feel like for the Mangoes, they just have to get creative.
Yeah, they're going to have to get creative here. Maybe find a demo, open up some space to shut down this really strong Uprising defense. But here's an opportunity. Fenrir looking for the double tap, but can't quite find it. The ball still up high. NJ going to beat out the defender. This could be an opportunity for the Mangoes, as this one sent down in the zone. Can they fire the shot on net? No, it's going to be stopped by Sta, as he's going to send this one down. Final 30 seconds remaining. The Mangoes got to put on this pressure here. On fire, getting a little dangerous. Got by one of his teammates there. A dangerous ball. Going to ball out another defender, though, as this one is hanging around in their zone. They've got to get going now here if they're going to want to tie this game up and at least send it into overtime. But Uprising trying to lock it down here. Is this one back in their zone? Final 10 seconds now. The demo going to come through. Huge demo. Fenrir trying to take control. Nerd Strafe. He's got to make some magic happen. This ball popped up. Sleeping Bean looking for the button, but there, and that one is going to go down, and Uprising holds on. Another 1-0 victory here in back-to-back games. It's a low-scoring affair, Gallium, but Uprising winning the war of attrition.
They are, and it's been a big game from Uprising, but Mango's just hasn't looked right for them. I think On Fire is doing an excellent job setting his teammates up and being just that great first man that he is, just being so fast to the ball, but nobody's taking a shot. We've seen it multiple times where you're calling On Fire or just going towards the net, and the ball is just right in front of the net for about 3 to 5 seconds, and his teammates are just nowhere to be found. And if you want to keep up that offensive pressure, that's what you have to do. And you're going to have to give up a little bit of defense in turn for a little bit of offense here for the Mangoes. And I think that is your best chance, because if you don't do that, Uprising are gonna keep getting these 1-0 victories because their defense is just that much better.
Yeah, and I thought for a second here, Gallium, we might see the timeout from the Mangoes, but they are not going to go ahead and call here. So they are going to play on and see if they can break through in this game 3. And, all things considered, Gallium, when you got 1-0 games or 1-goal differentials here, it's close. Mangoes, it just takes one opportunity, one mistake from Uprising or, one demo play, and they could have been right in both these last 2 games.
Yeah, I think the rotations are just looking a little off. They're not quick enough, and for Provisional League, I think rotations, if your team has great rotations, you can win a lot of games. And Mangoes right now, they're just not looking like themselves. They were a different team in the play-ins, and now that they're finally in the playoffs, I feel like that rotation has just kind of gone down the drain here.
Yeah, they're going to have to look to regain here in game number 3. This is crucial for them to bring it back. We've only ever seen 3 reverse sweeps in Nemesis playoff history in our 9 seasons, so you do not want to get in this this opportunity, this deficit here, and they're trying to shut it down here, but Fenrir can't quite get to that touch, and they are going to strike first here, their first goal of the series.
Man, what a goal from NJ. And for the Mangoes, that is such a sigh of relief, finally scoring a goal and off of a bang. You have to wonder, the Uprising defense there kind of caught on the back foot. Is there something that Mangoes have found that they can exploit?
Maybe so here, as that one was a good one. And I mean, maybe they just found him a little bit overcommitted there, which we hadn't seen much from Uprising. And that one was able to find the back of the net. And, you know, we're really going to have to see, you know, we talked about this at the beginning of this, beginning of this cast here, Gallium, is what is NJ going to bring to the table? He is one of those players that, you know, is an all-star, was a great player last season, another great season from him here in Provisional League. And if there's anything, it's got to be him. As Fenrir has an opportunity to shoot on net, but couldn't quite get it in, as Sleeping Bean had opened up the space with that demo. But it's got to be on NJ, you would think, to really try to carry his team. You know, arguably, one of the best players in Provisional this season, and they're gonna need him to step up big like he did there. This Uprising gonna try to take this one through. A little bit of an overcommit, the ball floating in net, but Fenrir with a nice touch, able to get it to the side there and clear that one away.
Man, just a lot of offensive pressure coming out for the Mangoes, and Uprising having to put on a defensive clinic here, but they're going to have to get some offense pretty soon here because they're still down a goal, Rockerman.
Yeah, they are still down a goal here, but now looking to try to threaten a little bit. And, with the way this series has gone, Gallium, all the games have been 1-0 games. That could be the sole decider here in this one. So such a crucial goal for the Mangoes. And now it's all on Uprising to battle back. But here comes Nerd Strafe. And finally, we got a game with more than one goal.
What a beautiful shot, and off of the on-fire pass. Finally, a teammate connects with one of his balls, and Nerd Strafe, he's going to send this one to the back of the net. And Mangoes sitting comfortable now, but not too comfortable. Still 3 minutes left on the clock. Uprising, they have a chance, but I feel like for them, they're going to want to get the series over with as quick as they can. So this game is super important for them.
Yeah, definitely so here. Do not want to let the Mangoes get going at all, but it seems like they may have started here with 2 big goals. And now Uprising get the battle back. This one being sent down. Sleeping Bean is looking for that demo. The ball going to drop down. An opportunity for Uprising, but not quite willing to commit here as NJ looking to flick it through. And oh my goodness, NJ, that is filthy.
That is gross. Are you kidding me? I mean, the solo play pops it over Fenrir, catches it on his car, gets past Star Razor, and puts it top right corner. Sleeping Bean just kind of gave up on the play. And do I blame him? Not one bit. I don't think anybody's saving that ball.
Yeah, that was perfectly placed as well there. A nice one from them as they bring themselves to a 3-0 lead. Is this ball dangerous in front of the net? It's a shot attempt. Starrazor can't quite get it in, and this ball again off the backboard, but going to be sent away. And yeah, Mangoes have really come to play here, and this one is Fenrir. What a shot! Oh my goodness, what a read off the ceiling.
Wait a second. Fenrir's showing off a little bit. I mean, NJ's not the only one who can have peak performances. Fenrir off of the ceiling, top bins. That is such a high-level shot from him.
Yeah, that was a huge shot from Fenrir, and right when Uprising needed it the most, they dropped down 0-3 here, needing some offensive pressure there, and it was Fenrir who's going to give it to him there, as now they find themselves a little bit closer here, but this ball could be dangerous. Good defense there by Sta, able to get it by 1, but demoed for his efforts. This one out in the midfield, going to be sent back into the Mango zone. Dunk attempt going to come through off the backboard. NJ, the good read, able to clear that one to the side. Back down to NJ. This one in the corner. Sta going to be dunked out there. This ball floating, but saved away. Now Sta going to try to connect with this one, taking it up the wall there. A bump comes through. Actually, Nerdstrafe going to send it high off the backboard, but Mangoes and NJ playing a little bit patient there. And now Gallium, a minute 40. Fenrir trying to send it towards the net, but the Mangoes going to clear it away. And Uprising still going to have to try to find 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals in 1 minute 30 seconds, but that's not going to be good. On Fire sends a ball down, and the Uprising defense having a little bit of an oopsies there.
Yeah, that one, he's trying to find the right read, the best read possible there, instead of just taking, one touch and trying to control it. And that one bouncing off the corner. And the Mangoes, they're finally getting some good offensive pressure here, and Uprising, they just haven't had the offense quite to match it here.
Yeah, they haven't, and it's been really unfortunate for them because their defense is so good, and now it's not. I feel like it's because Mangoes have found out that if you bang the ball from your own half, down into Uprising, catch them on the back foot, leave one defender back, and you give a good pass. That is the formula to success. And Uprising, they need to adapt. Mangoes have adapted this game, and if this lead stands, they're one game away from evening it up. And Uprising, they're going to have to do the hardest thing in some of the lower leagues and adapt.
Yeah, you definitely have to make those switches, make those adaptations like you mentioned here. And we'll see if anyone can do so here as this one we popped up, and that one could be a dangerous ball, but Fenrir going to get back to it as the seconds ticking away here in this game number 3. NJ out in the midfield. Got to find a touch, able to keep it in the Uprising zone, but Uprising really going to need a miracle here with 30 seconds left to score 3 goals, and they've only scored 3 goals this entire series. I don't know if it's going to be possible for them to score it in 3 seconds here, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to as this one into the Uprising zone. The time ticking away. Sleepy Bean going to try to get at least one more, looking to send it up across in the midfield there. Uprising teammate is there, but seconds ticking a little bit too far away here as this one just kind of hanging around the Mango zone, and that is going to do it here for game number 3. The Mangoes opt not to call the timeout, and they didn't need it here, Gallium. They put on the pressure, and they're going to come away with a 4-1 victory.
That's a huge victory for the Mangoes. You cannot go down 3-0 in the series, and they have prevented that. Now it is all up to them how the rest of the series goes. They need to keep up this pressure, and as always, they need to limit mistakes. I feel like both teams have had some mistakes in trading games now. Uprising had a lot of mistakes there, and it cost them. Just a prime example of what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, definitely so. And you know, honestly, Gallium, it didn't seem too much different than, you know, the other games in terms, if you just look at the shots, the shot department, it wasn't too much different from the Mangoes. But, you know, I feel like, Gallium, it was their opportunities. They were a lot better of opportunities and caught Uprising, you know, off guard a little bit there. And, you know, they might have found a chink in the armor here.
Yes, they definitely have. And something that is so clear for Mangoes is now that their offense is firing up on all cylinders, they can take advantage of Uprising here. They have the one up on Uprising in the mental department. So I would use this opportunity to really get in their heads, whether that be demoing a bunch or just doing any sort of other stuff to kind of just annoy this Uprising team. Because if you get a team frustrated, that is definitely going to lead to their demise.
Yeah, definitely so. And, you know, I'm very curious, Gallium. We've seen Uprising. They won game 1, 1-0. Last game 2, 1-0, and then in the last game only scored 1 goal. So where is this offense going to come from? You know, there's not going to be a lot of, you know, games, Gallium, that you're going to win where you only score 1 goal.
No, there's not, and most of their 1 goals have come off of really good shots, just one and done shots from Uprising. But I think they just need more one and done shots, and I think more passing overall, because I feel like what they're doing is just sending one guy down the field, and the 2 other teammates are just hanging back, playing a defensive game, which isn't horrible if you're trying to park the bus, but they need to get a move on if they want to stop Mangoes from having this momentum.
Yeah, and they got to do it here in this series, but this ball could be dangerous. Here comes NJ looking for the shot, but just a little bit wide. And yeah, you're exactly right. You don't need to park the bus yet here as you find yourselves still at a 0-0 ball game in game number 4. Uprising looking to put themselves on match point here. Is this one a shot attempt towards the net? Nerdstrafe can't quite get to, but it's off target there. That one could have been big there, but not quite going to make it happen as Bean can't quite make the touch. NJ throwing it hard off the backboard, looking to stay with it, keeping it up in midfield. Bean has to make the touch, but he can't, and NJ is going to get the goal.
NJ with the big goal here, just pops it high, gets one more past the defense, and Sleeping Bean can't really get to that. A little bit of a ghost touch there. A little unfortunate for him, but hey, Mangoes, they still have a 1-0 game now, and this is exactly where you want to be. You know Uprising is going to at least score 1, as they've done all series, but if you get a second, it's pretty much a guarantee here. Did I just see that correctly? I thought I was watching Challenger for a second. That was almost ridiculous, Rocker Man.
That was a little crazy. I thought we were about to see a highlight reel play as you were talking there, but Mango's defense was strong there. But yeah, you're exactly right. Uprising has done well to score 1 goal here in every single game, but you know, if they only score 1 here, they are not going to win this one. So they're going to need 2 on the board, but 3 minutes remaining here. Try to put on the pressure. Fenrir into the corner here, looking to stay with it. This ball up to the side. NJ looking to send it out down in the Uprising zone. Bean Gonna make a touch, but that one only right at Nerd Strafe. The Star Razor, what a touch there. Gonna bang that one out. This one high off the backboard. Could be a dangerous ball here. Mango's trying to come in, but it's blocked by a teammate there. A little bit of a provisional moment there. But there's a big opportunity. Both players excited to get on that one as that one is fired back in. It's only one defender here, but a demo is gonna erase an attacker there from Uprising. As this one could be dangerous. Star Razor off the backboard. Bean trying to get to it, but he can't quite. Is that one another big opportunity for Uprising as they are having a couple here, Gallium, but just can't quite break it through.
I think Bean was actually going for the demo there and just missed his opportunity. But if he got that off, Fenrir was right there with the finish. And I appreciate the creativity for Uprising here. I mean, they're really trying to spark their offense any way they can. And if you keep trying to spark this offense, I mean, eventually it'll ignite.
Yeah, definitely so here. And they definitely need that spark here as they find themselves down 1-0 here. With 2 minutes remaining, On Fire gonna get this one. This ball dunked out by Sleeping Bean. Trying to find a touch there, but only so far as NJ. Gonna look for the shot here, try to fire it through, but not quite gonna find what he was looking for as this ball off to the side. Here comes Bean, able to send it down. Off the sidewall, could be an opportunity. Star Razor, the demo from Bean, try to open up that space, but On Fire great on the defensive end, and you still see Bean, he's trying for those demos. He's gonna make it happen one of these times, but not quite there as this one blocked up high. Dangerous ball for Star Razor, he can't connect it. On Fire is gonna make them pay.
That was a difficult read, and unfortunately he couldn't make it, but On Fire having himself a series, getting another goal from him, and Nerd Strafe with a banger pass just sent it right down to his car, and it is now 2-0 for the Mangoes.
Yeah, it is now 2-0 here for the Mangoes, and they've kind of come alive here in the last couple games and really just kind of taking it to Uprising, showing them that, hey, we are here to play. And honestly, Gallium, I feel like the difference is just speed and aggression. I feel like they have just gotten a lot more aggressive, knowing that Uprising is going to play back and try to play that defensive game.
Yeah, I mean, the aggressiveness is really nice for Mangoes because I feel like that's just how they're supposed to play. That's how to really unlock their full potential. And now that they're playing aggressive, you have to worry about the defensive side, but as of right now, they haven't really had to worry about that as Uprising hasn't had a whole lot on the offensive end. So we'll see if that changes with the last 35 seconds.
Was this one getting shot towards the net, and Fenrir is going to get credit as NJ can't quite get back in time, and finally Uprising, they get their first goal this one.
You know, as the words slipped out of my mouth, Mangoes make a defensive error because they pushed up too far, but Uprising, they've only scored 1 goal in each of their games. Is this just the 1 goal, or will they score another?
Will they score another? Will it be the Mangoes? This ball floating off the backboard, and On Fire is going to bring it right back, and it's a 2-goal lead yet again.
An interesting kickoff strategy. I liked the thought, but Star Razor couldn't get a good enough touch, and Mangoes were really prepared for that, and really surprised that they got out of that. And with 31 seconds left, Uprising in a little bit of a hole here.
Yeah, they are in a little bit of a hole, and with 30 seconds left, they're going to need 2 goals. Otherwise, we're going to be heading to game number 5, all tied at 2 here. As Uprising, they were up 2-0 in the series here. This one trying to be sent down. They're looking for something, though, to try to get this one back and force an OT. This ball, going to be 50 to cross. The time is ticking away, though, as it's sent off to the corner. Mango's just trying to find that dagger, and it's NJ putting it home. Another 4-1 lead here as they look to make it back-to-back.
Man, and with 6 seconds left, I don't think there's much of a chance for Uprising to do anything in this game number 4. But, you know, going into game 5, I would like for Uprising to have a goal going into it, so we'll see if that doesn't happen in the next 6 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to try to get one here. Star Razor looking to make one happen, but regardless, we are going to have ourselves... Oh, this one, NJ, get a little close here. He's actually He's actually going to keep this one up here, and that one going to touch the ground, but Mangoes take that victory here, and they are going to tie this series up at 2-2. It looked like for a second there, Gallium, that Uprising was going to lock it down in the first 2 games, but the Mangoes offense has really come alive in the last 2.
Yeah, it's come alive, and a perfect time to do so, as now that they've tied the series up, what can they do from here? They're going to need 2 more wins to win this series, and they're going to have to stop Uprising, who are definitely going to try to adapt here. I wonder if they're going to take a timeout. If I was Uprising, I would think about the timeout. I'm not necessarily saying I would take it at this position, but timeout definitely is in the back of my mind here because you've lost 2 games in a row, both 4-1. Momentum is definitely not on your side, Rockerman.
Yeah, if I were them as their GM, I would be urging them to call the timeout, just stop the Mango's momentum. But as we saw, Galen, we thought maybe the Mangoes should call a timeout after game two, and they didn't decide to do that either. So it looks like for Uprising, it looks like they're gonna play on. They're gonna take it here and head into game number 5 and try to bring it back here. Which, you know what, more power to them. But Gallium, this is 4 straight games for them. Only 1 goal on the board. How are they gonna break through and take it to the Mangoes defense, which we were talking about the Uprising defense, but it's the Mangoes defense in this one, or maybe the lack of Uprising offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key for both of these teams has been just limiting their mistakes. I keep saying it, and every time Uprising just has more and more mistakes. So I think to limit those mistakes, you have to play to your strengths. And I think Uprising, they have to double down on their defense as of right now because the offense isn't really working out for them. It might start working out here, though. It's a great start to their game, but if you double down on the defense, then the counterattacks can start coming out, and those are so deadly.
Yeah, the counterattacks are deadly, but NJ is waiting in the midfield, and he finds an errored ball there, and he puts it home.
Wow, what a bang from him. Starrazor couldn't really do a whole lot, and NJ got to pop it high, and what a goal for him, and he's been on fire as of recent. Didn't really have the best game 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 have been spectacular from him, and this Mangoes team is on pace to win 4 games in a row.
Yeah, they are looking very strong right now, but for Uprising, how are you going to battle back here? Starrazor going to send it down, but a little bit of a double commit with Fenrir there, as this one sent back in the Uprising zone. Sleeping Bean trying to find that touch. It's going to be sent up high. Fenrir going to try to make this touch here. Actually finds a flip reset, trying to stay with it, but only so far as the Uprising backboard is this one. Could be a dangerous ball. Shot attempt going to come through. Not going to find it, though. This is still dangerous. Sleeping Bean could have a good opportunity. Can he put the power on? Not quite. Is that one another big opportunity gone to waste there for Uprising? And the guys are putting these ones home. There's a nice, good touch there out in the midfield, but just not quite ready in the midfield. And it's NJ looking to make something happen there, but gonna shut it down. And actually, Starrazor gonna find the counter attack. They put it in. Uprising tie this game 5 up.
Exactly what I was talking about. Mangoes, now that they realize that their offense is so deadly, they're gonna leave the defense a little bit more open than usual, and Starrazor gonna take full advantage of that. And Uprising now tied 1-1. Will they score more than 1 goal in a game? We're about to find out.
Yeah, we are gonna have to find out here as this ball into their zone. They're gonna have to break through. It's been a lot of one goal games for them in this series. You mentioned it, 4 straight in this one. As here comes maybe a little passing attempt there. Fender trying to find Starrazor, but just a little bit too far on the touch there. And you're exactly right. Can Uprising find a second goal in one of these games? And if they do, is it going to be the goal that's going to propel them to a Game 5 victory and put them on series point? Or will the Mangoes and their offense continue to be strong? This ball pushed into the midfield. Fenrir high off the backboard. Going to try to read this one, but Nerd Strafe a little bit quicker to that one. Able to get it off to the side. Uprising trying to make some magic happen. Sleeping Bean going to take it around 1. Can he put it in? It's going to find the back of the net and Uprising. They finally do what seemed to be impossible, Gallium. They got 2 goals.
Man, what a play from Sleeping Bean. Fakes out 1, gets it past another, and they get a 3-piece for Sleeping Bean. What a goal from him. And now that it's 2-1, Uprising, they can only go up from here.
Yeah, and maybe this is what Uprising needed to break through and finally, break through the curse. I'm sure, they were thinking about it, Gallium, in these last 4 games. Only scoring 1 goal is like, wow, how do we break through? We can't even score more than 1 goal, but they finally do. And you have to wonder, is this the floodgate, that's going to open for them?
Yeah, I mean, you only hope so if you're Uprising. As you see Fenrir going for a nice little solo play. I mean, he's been very keen to do that. As of recent, trying to pull an NJ. There's, oh my goodness, Uprising.
Oh.
Wait a second. Oh no! On fire got in the way. That was such a big block, and we're still only in a 2-1 game here.
Yeah, that one, it looked like it was going to be an open net, but On Fire just got in the way, just body blocked the shot attempt. But this one towards the net, Fenrir is just going to save it away. And yeah, that one could have been a huge for Uprising if they could have put a 3rd in, but instead, the Mangoes Gonna stay within one here, looking for an opportunity off the backboard. Opportunity, here comes
Whoa.
NJ to put it in a nice play off the backboard.
Tie game now. Mangoes, they found their stride once more. On Fire and NJ, that connection has been so great all series long. And, I mean, it just happens yet again. I mean, Uprising, they have a little bit of a lead, and it gets stripped away from them. It's all about how they react and how they deal with this now, Rockerman.
Yeah, it is. It's all about how they're going to lock this down in the defense and, how are they going to break through in the offensive end, or will be the Mangoes to win 3 straight games and put themselves on match point here with a spot in the semifinals on the line. This ball going to be sent down. Fenrir going to try to take control of this one. Going to pop it up high. Nerd Strafe is waiting, but Fenrir able to send that one away out to the corner. This ball popping up high here. Uprising trying to dive into it. Sleeping Bean gonna find a big dunk. This ball gonna pop up here. Sleeping Bean can't quite make the touch, but neither can On Fire. Fenrir off the backboard. This one gonna be sent down. Starrazor diving in. This could be a dangerous ball here, but On Fire just enough to get that one away. Is Uprising really trying to put on this pressure here in the Mango zone, but finally the Mangoes gonna relieve some pressure here, as now we're down to a minute remaining. NJ, a banger towards the net. It's off the post. Oh no, that one could have been it for the Mangoes there, but instead Gallium, we're still tied at 2, under a minute remaining.
There is no way we are still tied. I mean, both teams having ample opportunities to score, and Uprising, they almost had an opportunity there. Unfortunately, it's going to be cleared out, but with 40 seconds remaining, will Uprising make the leap and win this game 5, or will it be the Mangoes once more winning 3 in a row?
Yeah, we're down to the final 30 seconds. Will we see another overtime in this matchup here? 30 seconds. Starrazor on the touch, able to get in the corner there, trying to pop this one up. NJ just able to get a touch on this one. Fenrir trying to get this one in the midfield. It's going to pop out an opportunity for Sleeping Bean, but only so far as the corner to this ball. Sent up high. Starrazor trying to get up to it. A block's in come through. Sleeping Bean with a huge demo there. On Fire has to make something happen. Final 10 seconds of regulation here. Next goal may just win this game and put themselves on match point. It's off the backboard. Sleeping Bean going to send it down. Nerd Strafe looking for the shot, but instead Gallium, we're heading to overtime in game 5. Who will put themselves one win away from the semis?
Oh man, it's so hard to make predictions in playoffs, just in general. And Provisional, I mean, it doesn't make it any easier. So unpredictable, but I'm gonna have to go with Mangoes here. They scored the last goal in this in regulation, so I think they have a little bit more momentum than Uprising, and I think they're gonna use that to their advantage here.
Yeah, they do have some momentum going their way, but is it enough to break through? Fenrir trying to stop this ball past NJ. Sleeping Bean trying to get it by On Fire. Is this ball gonna pop up high? Uprising, a little bit of a double commit could lead to something here. On Fire trying to get it down in the corner. Nerd Strafe, they're gonna get it by 1. Sleeping Bean has to make the touch, and he does. Able to get it off to the side. Now looking up, trying to send this one down into the Mango zone. It's gonna pop high off the backboard. This could be an opportunity. The shot attempt, the bump from Bean, but Nerd Strafe, he was there and ready and waiting, and now he's on the counterattack. It's just Starrazor, but Starrazor big on the defensive end to clear that one away, and Gallium 2 huge opportunities to start overtime for both these two teams.
Oh my goodness, that was too close for comfort, and Uprising now have a counterattack opportunity. They're not going to capitalize off of it. Mango's looking so close to score, and oh my goodness, wait, this could be an opportunity. Oh my goodness, what a save. And it's just so close for Mangoes. They're at the doorstep. Can Uprising come out with a surprise here?
Can they do it here? This ball rolling out of the midfield. It's a dangerous ball. Starrazor for the shot. Oh, it's off the post. Starrazor could have finished it there, but had to get it by the defender. And now it's NJ, the man with the dribbles, but he's going to be denied. But here comes Nerd Strafe. High off the backboard here. And Uprising, a little bit panicked there. Mango's waiting for that clear. And here comes NJ off the backboard again. Fenrir has to make that touch. Able to get into the corner now. NJ waiting on this one, trying to take it towards the net, but Fenrir not able to be faked out by that one as he finds a 50 to the side. Starrazor to the corner. Here comes NJ hard off the backboard. Fenrir has to make this touch. 2 Mango's defenders go. This could be an opportunity. Uprising, they got to get moving, but NJ is back just in time. And 2 minutes now, Gallium gone by. Uprising back in their zone, but again, both these teams trying to make the most of their opportunities. And now, wait a minute, it's just on NJ, and he's gonna make the save.
What a play from both of these teams in their own respective defensive halves. I mean, they are just looking phenomenal right now, and see exactly what I'm talking about. The clears have been really good from both of these teams. They're just clearing it back and forth to each other. It's just an advanced game of ping pong. Oh my goodness, that was so close. But wait, an opportunity to went for Uprising, but Mango's just not going to capitalize off of it, and that has been their downfall this entire series. But Sleeping Bean with the shot. NJ can't get to it. Uprising going to take a 3-2 series lead.
And Sleeping Bean with the dunk, and NJ just got caught lacking some boost there, and Sleeping Bean, the bouncer, puts it home, and Uprising 1 win away. An intense overtime victory there in Game 5, Gallium, and now we're going to be heading to Forbidden Temple, and they can end the series here.
Yeah, big win from Uprising, especially with Mangoes winning 2 in a row. Big win for them, and you know, Rocker Man, I'm saying it now. This one's going to a Game 7. This one is 100% going to a Game 7. Mangoes are going to take this Game 6 at Forbidden Temple, and then in Game 7, Uprising are going to win. You can count me on that. That is what's going to happen.
All right, well, in that case, we may have to get someone to fire up that Game 7 alert, but I know Uprising, you know, Gallium, we talked about it. How are they going to break through? How are they going to score more than 1 goal? And you saw right there, Sleeping Bean with 2, Star Razor with 1. And, you know, they finally found a little bit of the formula. They didn't get too many shots. It was 5-11 in favor of Mangoes. But, you know, the shots that they found, Gallium, they made them count.
Yeah, they definitely made them count. A beautiful performance from Uprising. And, I mean, it's just really showing how great their defense has been all series. They limited the Mangoes there, and I feel like it had to do with the midfield. They were much more aggressive in the midfield. Mangoes just kind of dominated them in the midfield in games 3 and 4, and Uprising adapted, and that adaptation definitely helped them then, and it's going to help them now. Hopefully, they win this game and take the series, because if they don't, Game 7 is not a place where you want to be.
Yeah, you do not want to go to Game 7 if you're Uprising. You have the series lead. Can you close it out here now? Or will the Mangoes come through? And here's a shot, but Fenrir just able to get that one away. And, you know, the pressure has got to be a little bit on the Mangoes here to strike first. But here comes Star Razor. He puts it towards the net, and the defense not back in time.
What a play from Star Razor off the NJ mistouch. Star Razor just so quick to that one. Beats one and then beats another to get Uprising a 1-0 lead. Let's see if they can hold it here.
Yeah, can they hold it? They have they had an interesting series. We talked about it here. If you're just joining us, they've only scored 1 goal in every single game except for the last one. As a huge save comes through, they scored 3 in that one. And hey, if there's one thing we've seen from Uprising Gallium, it's that they know how to park the bus and play some defense. And you know, I'm curious if you think if that's what they should do here, or if they got to try to keep the pressure up.
I mean, I feel like that is definitely their strength. So I think, yes, play to that strength. And I mean, as you see it, NJ with an incredible shot by Fenrir on the back line, just saving it away. Play to that strength and also sneaking a little bit of counterattacking action, as we're seeing kind of now. Counterattacks are your best friend, because even if you don't score, you're kind of slowing down the opposing attack for next time. Is Fenrir going to pop it high? Oh my goodness, that almost went in the back of the net. But so we're seeing Uprising kind of taking a little bit, putting their foot on the gas a little bit on the offense.
Yeah, they are, and it forces the Mangoes double commit. Could be an opportunity for Star Razor, but not quite on target there. As that one gonna go off the side, but the net is open. Sleeping Bean, can he put it on? He does. He turns it through. And a 2-0 lead for Uprising.
What a goal from him, and the defense for Mango's not looking great. Double commit going out, and they did not make contact. NJ gonna miss it on the back line, and Uprising with a 2-0 lead now. It's all up to the Mangoes to control their destiny.
Yeah, they got to make some magic happen. And if there's one thing we've seen from the Mangoes is that they can turn on the offense.
Oh my goodness!
Fenrir!
What? Okay, wait a second. That was ridiculous. Fenrir gets a touch, has full control in the air, gets a second and a little bit of a bouncer schmouncer going in the back of the net. 3-0 lead now for Uprising, and what a turn of events.
Oh my goodness, and yeah, we've seen Fenrir here, Gallium, go for a couple of flip reset plays, a couple of attempts there, but nothing finding the back of the net, and nothing bigger for his team and their season than that goal right there. And it may have just struck fear into the heart of the Mangoes, but maybe not NJ. But not quite able to get that one on target. And now with 3 minutes remaining, they got to avoid collapse here. Is this one NJ just able to get back in time? As this one floating down in the midfield, the touch has to come through. And Uprising maybe starting to feel themselves a little bit here, as Gallium, they have, you know, we talked about it. Do they turn on the pressure? Do they lock it down? And they have decided we're going to full throttle.
Yeah, and I didn't really expect the full throttle to be this affected by them, but they're playing excellent as Razor can't put that one away. But if they keep playing like this, I think they should keep their foot on the pedal here. I feel like Mangoes are just a little back-footed, and we've seen how much their defense has struggled in this game 6. This is a perfect opportunity for Uprising to just take the series right now.
Yeah, they can finish it here, but Fenrir can't make that touch. And wait a minute here. 2 minutes, 35 seconds, a load of time here is NJ with the big long shot there.
Yep, that long shot catching Uprising by surprise, and that one is going to sneak into the back of the net. What a goal from Mangoes, and now they're only down 2, Rocker Man. It isn't impossible now.
It's not impossible, and we've seen them in the games that they won there in this series. They scored 4 goals to Uprising's 1, and if they score 4 goals here, it may lead to a victory, especially if the scoreline for Uprising stands. But they got to get going on the offensive end. We know they can do it. Can they be led by this guy, NJ, trying to make something happen? They're going to get it by 2. It's an opportunity. Shot toward net. Starrazor has to make the touch. Just able to get that one away to the side. The defense still holding strong on that end. This ball popped up high. Starrazor versus Nerd Strafe. This one falls in the midfield. Sleeping Bean looking to keep this pressure, but here's NJ, has an opportunity to put it on net, gonna send it to the corner. Huge opportunity, a huge miss, and NJ, he's gonna make them pay. And this man, he's trying to carry them back from the brink.
What a great play from NJ, and oh man, the pre-flip, that is an absolute beaut coming out from him. And with 1 minute 56 seconds, the Mangoes might be knocking on the door a little bit here.
Yeah, they very well may be here, as now a 3-0 deficit has turned into a 3-2 deficit here in Uprising. Got to be a little bit nervous here, as this ball sent in the corner. Uprising trying to make some magic happen. This ball off the backboard on fire. Trying to get a touch, but Sleeping Bean gonna cut it off here. This one sent down. Fenrir waiting back a little bit. Gonna have to try to play the 50. That one's gonna go off to the side. Uprising trying to get out. Fenrir gonna get it by 1 here. It's just on fire. As this one, Fenrir off the backboard. Oh my gosh, almost an insane touch there. But this one floating on net, and Starrazor gets the 50 through.
Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. What a pass and what a shot from Starrazor. And now Uprising having a 2-goal lead now. Can the Mangoes come back?
I don't know, Gallium. They're going to need some magic here in the final minute 20, but we've seen that they can score in bunches here. And if there's anyone to do it, it might be the Mangoes, but on the other end, if there's anyone you want locking this pitch down, it's got to be Uprising. As here comes Starrazor, looking for maybe the dagger. He finds his hat trick there, a 3rd for him.
Man, he's had himself a game, and towards the latter half of this series, he's been so good for Uprising. Started to turn it up, and man, what a perfect time to do so, Rocker Man.
Yeah, no bigger time there for Uprising, as they find themselves a minute 8 from advancing to the semifinals. Can they hold on here, or will the Mangoes pull out a miracle? Fenrir trying to stay up there. This one off the backboard could lead to an opportunity for the Mangoes. They're going to shoot it towards the net. Nerd Strafe trying to pop it in, and he does. And with 57 seconds, Gallium only down by 2.
Wait a second. Wait a minute. I mean, there's no way Mangoes come back in this one, right, Rocker Man? I mean, I checked the script earlier, and it didn't have them coming back. Do you have them coming back?
Well, you know what? I think we got 57 seconds to find out here, Gallium. As the Mangoes, can they pull back the improbable here? Can they make some Forbidden Temple magic happen? We have seen crazier things on this map before. As this ball popped up into the zone here of Uprising. Fenrir trying to waste some time away. Gonna keep it high. Trying to get out of the midfield. No one quite staying with it except for Fenrir. As Nerd Strafe and the Mangoes, they got to get going. Uprising going to try to lock it down, but this ball could be dangerous. It's floating in front of the net and on fire. He puts it in. 29 seconds left, Gallium. They're only down by 1.
Oh my goodness. This could be the game of all games here. Uprising couldn't find the touch, and the Mangoes are 29 seconds away from making an absolute miracle happen. Can they do it?
And we find some magic from the Mangoes. Their season is on the line here. Final seconds now. They're in the Uprising zone. They gotta go. A huge miss. A huge bump there. Uprising panicking, but Sleeping Bean gonna try to take control. Trying to waste this time away. Trying to get this clear out for his team. With this ball, dangerous in the midfield. It's just Starrazor on the defensive end. He makes the save, but here comes NJ. High off the backboard. Oh my gosh. On fire. No, he can't find it though. This ball sent away to the corner. Final seconds now. Mangoes, can they keep it in? No, they cannot.
No, they can't.
And Uprising hold on in a game 6 thriller.
Oh My goodness. So close from the Mangoes, but Uprising, they were just the better team throughout the series, and so sad that the Mangoes went out this way. They played so well in the play-ins, and they played well in the beginning of this series and even in the later games as well. So, I mean, after this, I kind of proved my point to why I think Provisional is such a slept-on league in terms of play-in/playoffs, because all the games are close. There was not a game, besides the two Mangoes wins, that were really, really just super dominant by one team.
Yeah, I know both these teams, they really gave it their all in this one, and you got to give credit to a good season on the Mangoes end there. They really took the battle to Uprising there, but it just wasn't quite enough at the end of the day there. And I mean, Gallium, just a great performance from Uprising. Now they are going to be moving on in that playoff bracket here, and depending on how things go, I guess we can take a quick look at the bracket and kind of explain it out for everyone. So with Uprising taking his victory here as the 4 seed, it's all gonna depend on that Sirens Wolfpack game coming up tomorrow night here. If the Sirens win, then Sirens are gonna play the Gambits and Uprising will play Dissonance. But if Wolfpack wins, it's the other way around. Wolfpack will play Dissonance and Uprising will play Gambits. So it's all depending on that matchup there, Gallium, coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, Provisional is just such. I mean, it's really a not even a top heavy league. There's so many sleeper teams. Like we just saw, Uprising, they're a sleeper team as well as Wolfpack, who have been on an absolute tear recently. Uprising, they have a shot. They definitely do, and it's going to depend on this next game to obviously figure things out seeding wise. But regardless of the seeds, both these teams have to play the two best teams in the league, and that's not even because of their seeds. That is just pure facts, straight up. So we'll see how that happens, and when the grand finals is going to be something else. I mean, last time the provincial grand finals happened, there was a reverse sweep
Yeah.
in a best of 7. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. In the Provisional League, it always brings some spicy matchups. We saw a good one there with this last one, Uprising, moving on to the semifinals. And now, coming up next, we got some more action, guys. Hey, we're just getting started here. 2 matches in, we've had some great action thus far. And now we're heading to the Titan League. Venganza versus Inferno. Venganza, they used to be a Nemesis staple in the playoffs, winning back in season 3. Can they make some magic happen here? This next one's going to be a good one, so make sure you guys stick around, and we will see you guys in a couple minutes.